It's May the 9th, 2022, and we have code enforcement. This was one of the gentlemen that was there on private property, and again, we are now on property. I don't know whose it is, but I'm gonna find out. This piece of property here, and they're messing with this car here. It says it's a school here. And let's just wait and see what happens. Unless the school call. This is what I say about Johnny! These government officials. They come onto private property and they have no jurisdiction on private property under the Constitution of the United States, the supreme law. This lady here, I guess she's going to pick, it might be a school, I don't know what it is. But under the supreme law, no government agency is allowed on private property unless they have a warrant or probable cause. And they come onto these properties trying to enforce these fictitious codes and laws they try to put on people. But the supreme law is very clear. Every citizen is secure in their property. And the property is secured. We're about to have a nice little powwow in federal court to explain that to them. They towed all the vehicles now down to an abandoned tow yard in Gaithersburg for Montgomery County. Now, one of those vehicles are abandoned. I had the owners call on the vehicles that I own and explain to them that they were sold to me, and now they're trying to extort money for me to get my own property back that was stolen by Takoma Park Police Department. This is going to be an interesting trial. You know, I tell everybody, record everybody. And trust no one. Now he's up on the schoolyard. Unless the school called him and said something about this car here, he has zero jurisdiction on this piece of property. But because people don't know their rights, and there's an old saying, ignorance of the law is no defense. And that's what they bank on citizens who don't know their rights. They're gonna find out real soon that I know my rights. Now, I don't know, they say this is a school, so I don't see anybody else from the school down here. And here's a car here coming down now. Let's see if they called them. That's the same lady just drove up there. No, it's not. No, it's not. She looked the same. Look almost the same. What's up, man? Alright. Now we have the police here, car 302. What is that, a school? Oh, you don't know either? Again, I don't see anybody from the school that came down here to make a complaint. But again, we have one of the terrorist uniform vehicles and down here now messing with this vehicle. And I think they're in cahoots with these tow companies around here. Because these same tow companies that tow mine, they stay around driving around in this little town. You cannot go on private property and steal vehicles. There's zero signage that says no parking anywhere but on the street. But on the street. This is not on public space whatsoever. And look how they're searching the vehicle. I know one thing. Only sign I see is no dumping, $1,000 fine. If he come out this way, I'm gonna ask him, what is this? I see a lot of people out here all the time. And this is what they're doing to get their revenue. Stealing people's cars. Interesting. That they put abandoned stickers on them. On these things. And like I say, the only sign is this sign right here. This is the only sign, the entrance into this area. Is it a school or what it is? Is this an active school?
Well, no, the school's been shut down for years. What there is up there now is an adult daycare, and there's a
So it's private property.
senior living center.
So it's private property.
Yeah.
Okay. So they called about that car?
No. No, I saw the car.
You guys cannot go on private property and mess with people's stuff, man. But I'm going to teach a valuable lesson. You cannot go on private property and mess with it unless somebody from the private property call. It's in the Constitution. I know y'all don't know the law, but it's going to cost Takoma Park big money for stealing my vehicles. You know, now everybody's pointing fingers. They say the chief called. The chief say they called. Now they saying your chief won't. You cannot. I'm gonna let y'all see. Y'all gonna learn a valuable lesson this time, man. Unless these people call and say something about this car, Takoma Park has no jurisdiction to mess with it. Ladies and gentlemen, nobody called about this vehicle. The gentleman from code enforcement rode around and saw it. This is what's going on. Extortion in this town. Take care, man. Extortion. This officer now is writing up a vehicle on private property to have it towed off this property when nobody called from this, whatever it is, senior citizen, daycare, or anything else. And this is what's going on in this town. They don't know the law. But because no one has put an issue to it, they do what they want to do, and no one has ever confronted them about them until now. How can he just ride around, somebody parked their car on private property, and the people who own the property didn't say one word about it, and now she's writing up this vehicle, and sooner or later a tow truck's gonna come and tow this vehicle. This is car 302, tag number 0199. And if anybody recognizes this car, send them to my YouTube channel and let me tell them how to get paid off of them towing their vehicle illegally. The Supreme Court and the Constitution has made it very clear that private property means private property. And unless you have a warrant or probable cause or someone consented for you to come onto their property, law enforcement and government agencies are not allowed on it. I'm going back over here in this cool shape. But then they're still in another vehicle. This is at 6501 Popular, what is it, Avenue, Road. Let me sit down here. Because in a minute a tow truck gonna come. Look at it. She's opening up the doors. An illegal search. They really don't know the law. But they've been getting away with it for so long. Somebody parked this car there today. It wasn't there when I passed by. So they parked it today, so it's not abandoned. She is going through this vehicle. An illegal search on private property. I don't see any signs that says law enforcement is an agent for this property anywhere. I think there's a tag on it because they ran it. So there is a tag on this vehicle. Here's another one. 356. Another terrorist to the American people. This is not on public space. This is on private property. This school or whatever it is. She's going through the trunk. An illegal search of this vehicle. She's throwing the gas tank out. Can out. They searching the vehicle. They don't know the law. She threw the people's gas tank out. Let me see if she put it back in there. He closes the thing. She's taking the tag off the car. The Maryland tag off the car. And put it in her car. I guess that's the way you say it's abandoned. I can use this in court. Shows just how they do it. Now, mind you, this is on private property, not public property. And the code enforcement gentleman said he just drove by and saw the car there. And they called it. And now they're illegally searching these people's car. She threw this gas can out. I don't know if you guys can see that red thing under the car in the back. She threw that out of the trunk and he closed the trunk. So let's see if they put it back in there. But this is private property they're on. Like fucking cockroaches. It's sad. These are the people you have riding around in the taxpayer's car, wearing guns, wearing the taxpayer's uniform, and they don't know the law. The real law, not that shit they make up. She's taking the tags, putting them in the car. So he did have 2 tags. She took them and put them inside of the vehicle. And I guess she's saying it's abandoned now. Or it could be stolen. But one of the 2 things. The gentleman went on the property illegally. And the fruit of the poison tree makes all this void. Illegal. He keeps riding around. There he is right there. He keeps riding around. Oh, now she throwing the gas can back in. I thought she was going to put it in her car. Maybe she need a gas can. Now, one thing about that is the tags don't belong to Takoma Park, Maryland. The gentleman paid for those tags, or whoever tags they are, and they belong to him until he turns them in back into the DMV. See, that's the contract you have with the DMV. Most people don't understand that there is a contract with the DMV when they give you that little fake license that you put yourself through this kind of foolishness. Read what the Supreme Court has wrote about a right to travel. If your vehicle is not being used for commerce, you don't need a tag, you don't need insurance, you don't even need a driver's license. As a free person, you have a right to travel in the United States. Google it. See what the Supreme Court has said. And no state can tell you otherwise. And I'm going to prove that with this case that is about to come up. With all this, you don't have titles for the vehicles. You don't have registration for the vehicles. No, you came onto private property and stole those vehicles illegally. Chief of Takoma Park Police Department, this is not the Park Service where you used to work at. This is about law. And ignorance of the law, Chief, is no defense. A layman is fin to embarrass your town. I guess she's waiting on a tow truck to come down here and steal this vehicle. How can something be abandoned on private property? On public property, yeah. But this wasn't even 24 hours that this vehicle was parked here. I walked by here probably 3 hours ago. This vehicle was not here. So no one has come down from the senior citizen. I didn't know this was a senior citizen home, a school or daycare, to inform them that they didn't want this car here on private property. Just stay tuned. I'm gonna cut off now because I want to see what tow company comes and get it. Is it one of the tow companies that came and stole my vehicles? This is a racket. This is a business, a corruption with this town, with these tow companies, towing people's property off of private property. Stay tuned.